here's a question. You ever wonder how the chemistry of an on-screen couple can feel so real, and then you find out that it is real? The long hours and intimate scenes can make it seem so easy for two co-stars to fall in love, but while getting together is the easy part, it's the staying together part that most couples who meet on set seem to have trouble with. Alicia Corrals joins me now to discuss which on-screen romances were able to make it and the loves that fizzled out. Okay, so if we're talking hottest Hollywood on-set romances, there's only one couple that we can start with, right? We're of course talking about Brangelina, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, who met when filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You think it's fair to say this is the most famous on-set romance maybe of all time?
Maybe, unless you go back to Liz Taylor and her many romances with Richard Burton, but the same level of scandal. So yeah, they met back in '04 on Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You watch the movie, you watch them do the tango, and you see all that chemistry. But of course, he was then married to Jennifer Aniston. He left her for Angelina Jolie. Angelina says, no, they were definitely split up. But the world was Team Brangelina, or you were just, go back and be with Jen. So it was a whole scandal. They were together for a long time until they weren't, Jess.
People ate this up, Brangelina. I feel like they were on the cover of so many different magazines. And of course, we all know how this one ended. In 2016, the couple split, but not before making their only movie as a married couple together. When you look back, the movie By the Sea, maybe a sign that Brangelina wasn't really the happy family we all thought they were?
Absolutely a sign, and she's spoken about this. So the movie came out in 2015. She wrote and directed it. Of course, he starred in it. It's about a couple going through a lot of terrible things in their marriage. But everybody thought that they were very much together. 6 kids, traveling the world, adopting kids, biological kids. Then suddenly you hear about this fight on an airplane and she's now taking custody, and it was like, wait, what? So I think somewhere Jennifer Aniston is sitting back sipping tea.
I'm just saying, Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston, both single again.
Which one did you like better together?
I was more Team Brangelina, but that's what I focused on more. That's what I remember more.
Right.
I think it was just the star power of the two.
Agreed.
I also love Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Good movie.
Shooting at each other, fighting each other madly, and with tangoing, is that what you said?
Tangoing.
Yeah, pretty good. But it didn't last very long.
No, it didn't.
I'm just saying, I think Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt.
You're being very Canadian and PC about this.
Listen, dreamers, they're out there too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were all shocked earlier this year when Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan announced their split as well. Of course, they met on the set of Step Up back in 2006. I think everyone really thought that this was a match made in dancing heaven. How shocked do you think people were when they just learned recently of their split?
Incredibly shocked, because as you said, they met on Step Up. They're both dancers. They even did lip sync battle recently, and they were dancing together. They have a 4-year-old daughter, Everly, married for 9 years. When they got together, she was more famous than him. She says that she never looked at him like that, but one night he came to her room a little bit tipsy, put on a little show for her, and she looked at him a lot differently. So you thought this was the couple that was gonna last. Magic Mike and all.
Magic Mike and all. It didn't last. We certainly wish them the best moving forward, though. There was another couple that had the internet going absolutely nuts. Everyone remembers Twilight. How about Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson? Crazy. Who would have ever thought vampires could lead to a real-life love story, right?
People were obsessed with this. I used to have to cover this all of the premieres. So in '08, when the first movie came out, you didn't realize they were a couple. Cut to the second movie, and everybody knew these two were together. So when they would do interviews on the red carpet or junkets, they would always put her between Taylor Lautner, Rob Pattinson, and then there'd be Kristen in the middle. But Jesse, all's well that ends well, or not really, because she cheated on him with her Snow Whites and the Huntsman director and broke a lot of people's hearts, mainly Twilight fans.
Yeah, and you got to be careful about that.
Just saying.
All right, well, hands down, one of the best movies of the 1990s. Remember Cruel Intentions?
One of my best movies.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was a breakout movie, too, for Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe, and they really took their characters' romance off screen as well.
Listen, Jess, by the time the movie came out in 1999, she was already pregnant with their first daughter, Ava. They also have a son. They were married by then. They were the golden couple. She went on to win an Oscar for Walk the Line. Her star really took off. He kind of stuttered in his career, but now he's on Shooter. He got it together. They divorced in the early 2000s. But they're now friends, and they said it's a trip when they go back through Central Park and walk with their kids. This is where mom and dad filmed the movie, fell in love, so it's full circle for them.
It didn't really work out, but you're right. You have to give them props because they really do a great job co-parenting and being a good example, I think, for other celebrity
couples. And their kids are their doppelgangers.
Yeah, it's crazy, actually. You're right. They look just like them. Okay, enough of the sad news, though, people. Miley Cyrus, Liam Hemsworth, their relationship, it's been a roller coaster, but they seem to finally landed on solid ground now. How long have these two been romantically linked? You have to go back.
We got to go back to 08, 012. So this is when they met on The Last Song, the Nicholas Sparks movie. Then in 2012, they were engaged. They broke it off in 2013. Miley Cyrus started twerking. You remember that MTV VMAs with her and Robin Thicke?
Absolutely.
Wasn't right.
It's like, it's like etched in my brain.
Yeah, me too. It was wrong. So she went through this whole wild child, you know, shedding her Hannah Montana phase, broke off the engagement, but now Miley's back to Malibu Miley. They reconnected though, Jesse, so it's all good. She says he was looking for a dog, and she helped him get the dog, and then she took it to his Malibu house, and she goes, wait a minute. I used to rent this house.
Really?
Now they live in that house together.
So she wants the twerk, just do it privately for him?
Please do it privately for him. Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to say it.
She's had enough of the twerking.
Yeah.
All right, well, guess what? Relationships, they just don't blossom on movie sets, but also on TV sets too. Take Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. They met on that 70s show. You think it was love at first sight for these two?
No, because he would have been having his own Me Too moment before that was like even a thing, because she was only 14.
Oh, wow.
So he was 19. So they met in 1998 on that 70s show. Actually, he was her first kiss, but it wasn't like that. It was on screen. He looked at her like a little sister. She looked at him like, that's annoying, Ashton. Cut to, she dated Macaulay Culkin. He, of course, married Demi Moore.
Yep.
They got divorced, and they reconnected as adults and said, hey, you know, Ashton said, I want to set you up with somebody else. She said, no problem. Then the two of them decided to be friends with benefits. And now he put a ring on it.
So, I mean, it's funny because you got two people here that had already at one point been in a very high-profile relationship. You think they ever had trepidation themselves about putting themselves back in that type of spotlight this time together?
Absolutely, and they've both spoken about that. You know, he talks about the Demi Moore days because she was a much bigger star than him, and he had to learn the hard way about infidelities, being caught up. Mila also dated, you know, Macaulay, very famous people, but they said because they knew each other and because they had been through those very public relationships, they understand their shared values. They don't spoil their kids. He's one of the most intelligent people I've ever interviewed.
Wow.
He has a whole life outside of Hollywood, and so does she.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's harder for these relationships to last and keep going. For normal people, even harder for celebrities.
Ain't that the truth? What's your secret?
Me, you know, I just keep feeding her.
And you guys, Emily's this big, lucky woman.
My girlfriend loves food. She's way out of my league too. I just got to keep tricking her somehow. Mila and Ashton, they great example though for all of us, even as normal people like myself. Alicia, thank you so much.